Gals, it's a precious, precious day. It's a Monday in December, 3 days before Christmas. And it's the only day we have. And I have a story for you. Welcome to Sobriety Snippets for Ambitious Women Over 40, where we elevate the mindset to trade hangovers for higher consciousness, one powerful snippet at a time. I'm Becca Jacobson, and I am so happy to be here with you on this beautiful, beautiful, precious, precious day. Why do I say that, gals? Oh, come on, you know, don't you? Because it's the only one, isn't it? It's the only day we have today, this one, Monday, December 22nd, 2025. It's a beauty. Let's celebrate it. Let's make it the best day ever, no matter what's going on. It is the one and only day we have. I have a story for you. A mother was walking with her young son after a lightning storm had sparked a forest fire the week before. The land was still gray, ash underfoot, charred branches pointing at nothing, the smell of smoke lingering like a memory that didn't want to leave. The boy asked, "Mom, what is courage? How do you know when you have it?" She didn't answer right away. Instead, she took his hand and said, "Let's walk." They walked quietly through the burnt forest until the mother stopped. She crouched down and brushed aside a small drift of ash. There, pushing stubbornly through the blackened soil, was a single red wildflower. Bright, almost defiant. It looked like it had no business being there, and yet there it was, unapologetically alive. "That," she said, pointing, "is courage." The little boy frowned a little. "A flower?" he asked. "Yes," she said. "Courage isn't loud. It isn't about being the strongest or the bravest in the way people imagine. Courage is what grows where everything says it shouldn't. Courage is the part of you that rises after the fire, even if you're shaking. It's choosing life again, hope again, trying again." She gently tapped the fragile stem. This tiny thing doesn't know if the rain will come or if another storm will return. Courage is the quiet decision to bloom anyway. They stood there for a moment, the red of the tiny flower burning brighter than the whole ruined forest around it. Then the boy nodded, slowly, like something inside him had clicked into place. And they kept walking. Gals, if there's one thing we need on this journey, it's courage. We need to recognize fear and be willing to face it. Gals, if we can overcome the fear that we feel, we can do anything. I want you to do something for me today. And I really, really hope you'll all do it. I have a vision in my mind. I can see it. It's an army of women here in Snippet Land, all doing this same thing today. Are you ready? I want you to either draw a red flower or cut one out of a magazine or download a picture of one. I want you to physically get a picture of a red flower. It doesn't have to be gigantic. In fact, it should be tiny and bright red, but whatever appeals to you. You can get some pencil crayons or crayons. Draw a red flower. I want you to take that flower and pin it on your bathroom mirror or maybe your rear view mirror or on a window somewhere, or on your cork board in your kitchen, or on your fridge. I want you to pin this red flower somewhere where you're going to see it tomorrow and the next day and the next day. We don't need to write anything on this picture. It's just a red flower. That's it. And you know what it means. When you see that red flower, you will be reminded that courage is not loud, not forceful, not the absence of fear. Courage is the willingness to push through despite fear, despite the odds being against us. Why do we fear on this journey? Gals, it's natural. And it's important for you to recognize that it's natural and we all feel it. If you're fearful of giving up alcohol, that is so normal. In fact, if you weren't, I'd wonder what was wrong with you. It's fear that keeps us stuck, not just for days, weeks, or months, not even just for years, but decades, and in some sad cases, lifetimes. It's fear that kept me drinking until I was 52 years old. And I drank a lot, like nonstop, from 13 to 52. It's fear of the unknown. It's fear of what about this? What will it be like? How do I socialize? What about my anxiety? What about? There are so many fears on this journey. One of the reasons I'm here, one of the reasons Snippetland is here, to remind you, first of all, that you're not alone and that you can walk through that fear. The other thing I want you to remember is that it's just like the proverbial monster under your bed. The things that we fear are nothing once we face them. Once we stand up like that little red flower and poke our heads out through the ashes and look around, we realize, oh, this isn't as scary as I thought it was. I know that you have the courage to live alcohol-free. You may not feel it today, you may not know it this moment, but you do have the courage. Courage is not the absence of fear. Let me say it one more time. Courage is not the absence of fear. It's the decision to rise again in a landscape that told you shouldn't be able to. Like a single red flower growing in a forest that has been burnt down, courage is the quiet bloom after the fire. No matter how many times you've tried and failed, no matter how anxious you feel, no matter what your dominant emotion is when you think about living alcohol-free, I am here to guarantee you, and this is my promise to you, it's a promise and I stand by it, that what you fear is nothing. It will fizzle, it will dissolve, it will melt in the face of your courage. I often talk here in Snippetland about uncomfortable action. We have to take uncomfortable action, and that takes courage. It's uncomfortable not to drink. The first day, the second day, the third day. It's uncomfortable. It gets easier, and then the discomfort returns, and then it gets easier, and then the discomfort returns. But we just keep pushing our little heads above the ashes like that red flower, knowing that eventually, slowly, over time, the discomfort lessens until you become joyous and completely comfortable living alcohol-free. And I want you to know that's exactly what happens. It takes a while. I ain't gonna lie to you, babe. It takes a while. But so what? We're on a journey. We're on a journey. We might as well be growing. We might as well decide to feel the fear and do it anyways, as Susan Jeffers so eloquently put it in her beautiful book by the same title. Another thing I often say here in Snippetland is that our two biggest enemies are doubt and fear. We've talked about doubt. We'll talk about it again. But fear, if I had to choose between those two, although it's hard, I got to be honest, but fear might be the worst. It is the one we have to face. And so I hear women saying, oh, I'm afraid. Actually, it's kind of funny. Most women don't express it that way. Most of us don't actually say, I'm afraid of this. It's other things. We'll say, I suffer from anxiety or depression or whatever. We use different words, but it's all just fear. It's just a variation on fear. And the interesting thing about fear that I've discovered, that once we start facing it and feeling what it feels like and taking uncomfortable action, we very quickly learn, man, you know what? That's not so bad. I can do that. And then we start facing other fears. This is the journey to sobriety. It's not just about alcohol. We talk about that a lot, right? It's about the journey to emotional growth that ends with us so calm, so peaceful, so self-aware. My dears, so happy. Happy. Did you know that you could be happy living alcohol-free? Well, you can. So today, this only day, December 22, Monday. What's special about it? It's the day you've got in front of you. And today I ask you, find a red flower or draw a red flower, pin it up somewhere, and remember, you are courage. You have the capacity to feel the fear and take the action anyway. Yes, my dear, you. I'm talking to you. And if you want more encouragement from Snippet Land, today's a great day to just tap the link in the show notes and sign up for the Sober Living Letters, and you'll be hearing from me every day. Some days you'll get a snippet, and on alternating days, you'll get beautiful messages from me in your inbox. Now get out there and get your red flower and pin it up, because today's the day we have an army of women in Snippet Land pinning up their flowers. And if you're really, really motivated, I would love, love, love it if you would take a picture of that flower and send it to me at Becca@BeccaJacobson.com. Thanks for popping in. Be sure to come back next time so I can keep your head on straight. Sending you buckets of love.